Welcome into a Sunday night Pod Blender Unfiltered. What's going on, y'all? How you doing? Good to see ya. Let me bring in my band here. Let me get my friend Otis Spunkmeyer. Otis McDonald. There we go. Otis McDonald and the band. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you, Otis. You're a good man. Give me that funk. What is going on, y'all? Just got back from another glorious weekend with my son. Had a great time with him. Went to the flea market today. I'll get into that a little bit here in Nashville. And then went to see the 20th anniversary of Revenge of the Sith on the big screen, which is started Friday. And it's going for a week. So if you have a fondness for the prequel trilogy, which will be the focus of May Power of the Force on a Punk with Toys channel, if you guys want to do a figure review, pick out a prequel trilogy figure, do a short review or a long review if you want to, like I did last year, and go on and get in on the fun for the month of May. They already kind of have the first few lined up, and I'll check out that list here in just a minute, just to see if you guys have seen it or not. But anyway, so yeah, man, it was a good day today, good day yesterday. I'm gonna look these things up just so you guys understand what I'm talking about here in a minute with my son and us fighting each other is probably the best way I could describe it and how we do it these days. But anyway, so yeah, welcome in. We got a few good topics tonight, and one, I'm going to take the gloves off, and we're going to go all in on the ideology and culture war that I'm really just tired of. Not that I haven't participated, but I'm kind of tired of the bullying and strong arming of gamers, people that enjoy entertainment. People that have a different opinion, or a normal opinion in this case. But we'll get into that stuff here in a little while, man. I do want to recognize you guys that are sliding into the chat. So we'll throw this up here real quick and get into it, man. Triple D's Dungeon at 7:43. Now, I had to change the time of this stream a couple times. It was because the movie was longer than I remember it, and we had 5:20 Central Time show tickets, and so it ran a little longer than I remember. And so to get him all the way back across town, which he's about 45 minutes from me and back, so I had to kind of keep changing the time of the stream. So I apologize if it was supposed to be at 9 and 9:30 then 10. But I'm glad you guys are here for sure. So Triple D's Dungeon was in here early and often. Dreadnought K6 is officially a nemesis of Triple D's. Let's see here. Legend Series, man, hanging out. Good to hear from you, man. Hit me up. Definitely let me know what works for you, my friend, for sure, and we'll try to work that out. Hang out for a little while. That'd be fun. But I'm glad you're stopping by for a little while, man. Hear me rant and rave and all that good stuff. Joe Fan 84. Hope you're feeling good, man. Hope the back is better. Take a load off tonight. Chill out. Listen to me shoot the shit for a bit. Ronnie Trickshot. Good day, mate. What time is it over there, Ronnie? I should know this by now. But glad you're taking a little time out to hang out, man. Always appreciated, my friend. 3-star draw. Just got off the phone with you. Trying to get together Wednesday's show for Seven's Wild. Kind of a fun topic and something that we can bounce around and have a little fun with, just shooting the shit. Hopefully it's not freezing where I'm at. Or at least freezing on the stream, which I've been having internet issues lately. And hopefully I won't get the gremlin again this time. Joe Fan 84 says, just getting a snag. Had a great weekend with my son. Went fishing. See? Caught a turtle and a duck, but no fish. Well, I'd say the turtle and the duck is bigger game than the fish, probably. The turtle, let that one go back, baby. I don't know how you catch a duck and I know you can catch a turtle, I guess. Catching a duck, man, that's some skill. I have family that hunts them, hunts those in Turkey, but catching them, not so much. Turk Murphy's Toy Solutions. What's going on, Turk? Good to see you. As always. Let's see here. Scroll down. Don't want to miss anybody early on. And Ronnie says that it's 12:30 p.m. lunchtime on a Monday. Lunchtime is a good time, my friend. It is a little warm in here. I know Dreadnought said it was freezing where he's at. It's a little warm, actually, where I'm at. And yes, so far the stream is good. Thank God. Turk caught a duck one time fishing for trout. Well, please enlighten us exactly how that happened. I want to know. Inquiring minds want to know, Turk, how you caught a duck. And Joe Fan, tell us how you caught one too. Menjoza, what's up? Menjoza's in the house. Good to see you, my friend. All right, let me turn my little fan on. Give me 8-10 seconds. Pause for the cause. I'm going to grab my little fan, turn it on, because it is hot as balls in here. 2 seconds. Whew, much better. Good Lord. All right. Chat has been met. Anybody else new that slides in, I will keep my eyes peeled. Okay, so here we go. We're getting some answers here. Joe Fan 84 says the duck got wrapped up in the line trying to get the bait using bread, which is always the best way to go after a duck, or just try to get them close. We have a park here in Nashville called Centennial Park, and one of the famous things for God knows how many decades is to take some bread down and feed the ducks. Of course, everybody has a park like that. Turk Murphy's Toy Solutions says I was casting out and the duck caught my bait in the air. Damn. Wow. That joker was tough to reel in. Let me tell you, he was quacking and shit. I was young then and had no clue what to do. Yeah, I probably would have been the same. That's fantastic. And yeah, Joe Fan, you been to that park? Yeah, for sure. Dreadnought K6. Here we go, fishing. Something I'm not good at all. Went fishing once while performing court-ordered community service. That's interesting. Ended up with baby mama out of the ordeal. I stopped fishing that day. I could understand. Good memory, bad memory, maybe combined. I don't know, combined. You scissoring. Okay, anyway, never mind. Yeah, you've been to that park. Centennial's cool, man. It used to be funky. It's changed over the years. But it's in a much better place these days. Yeah, 50-50, my friend, no doubt about it. So let me get into. I'm getting to the weekend, all right. So I'm gonna show something on the screen for you guys. This is probably one of the best things that I bought that has lasted for several years. They're called Mashunga sticks. This is a picture of them. So envision a pool noodle, okay, that's about 2 feet long, 2.5 feet long, something like that. Maybe 3 feet, I don't know. Anyway, and it's got a cylinder running through the middle of it, through the hole in the middle, and a handle on one end. And then it has a giant sock pulled down the whole thing, okay? And as you see in this picture, what these kids are doing here, okay, we have those. And I bought those probably, God, we went to a toy store. It's probably been 4 years ago, something like that. And we have gotten more mileage out of these things. We have gotten more mileage. You can hit each other. They don't hurt. Now, don't get me wrong. When my son 4 years ago was hitting me, I was not as worried. I wasn't having to dodge out of the way. I wasn't worried about my head or whatever. Now that he's 17, when he swings with authority. And I think he gets carried away and ends up just absolutely trying to destroy me. On top of this, though, because we've been using these things for years, and it's like playing with lightsabers, only they're softer and you can hit each other with them, and they're really fun. Mashunga sticks, they're awesome. But now what he's done is he's taken a bunch of pillows and blankets, and he's tied up the pillows and like gotten creative, and he made pauldrons, and he made like nut armor, and then he made a giant belly armor, and then he has a helmet, and he made facial armor out of a pillow and all this shit, and it just absolutely looked ridiculous. But the thing was, I had no armor on. He's got all the armor on, which are just a bunch of pillows, and he's just beating the shit out of me. So we got outside yesterday, and we're just hitting the shit out of each other with these things, and they are so much fun. Like, so much fun. I can't even begin to describe to you how much fun this is. So 3 stars already got it. You guys in the chat, I know you see it. So I'm going to send this picture to myself. I'm going to email it to myself really quickly. So just bear with me. I'm not in a big hurry here. So if you guys are cool with hanging with me, man, like I'm not going to try to just bang through these topics and all that shit, man. We're just hanging tonight. I do have some stuff I want to talk about, but we're just hanging. So you guys hang with me. I showed the Easter setup, right? So you guys got that. Let me show you the armor that he made, which isn't even really. I'll show a couple pics. I'll email these to myself, and I'll bring them up. So apologies for the delay, but this is totally off the cuff. I didn't even think I'd be doing this, but I got back so late. All right. And then I will bring up this one here. Email. Hope you guys did have a good weekend, man. Here in Nashville, we had some absolutely beautiful weather, and absolutely beautiful weather. Very fortunate. And then I'm going to talk about the flea market actually too. Let's see. Did that one come in? Okay. All right. So here's the first picture. This was the first creation, y'all. And I will share this with you. Here is kind of sorta the get up. So you can see he has not quite created the pauldrons yet, but he had the chest armor, and then below with the robe, of course, of the Star Wars scene. So this was the initial creation. All right. So I will show y'all the next creation. And my point for showing you this is just because we get super goofy. And so here's the next one right here. You can see the helmet with the face guard. And then he's got the modified chest / crotchal region piece. And then these are the pauldrons on the sides there that kind of, he ended up putting them up top, but they were around his waist initially. And there's the Mashunga stick in his hand. So that's a 17-year-old with a Mashunga stick. So you can see how big these things are, okay? So the Mashunga sticks are awesome because you can really just have fun beating each other up with them. And it's hard to get hurt. Now, yes, he's older, and if he hits me in the damn head, he's gonna get me. So I have to make sure I'm not wearing my glasses, because these things, man, when you swing them, man, like, you know, you might catch a one on the side of the head, you know what I mean? So I don't break my glasses. But we did that yesterday outside, and that was an absolute freaking blast. Yes, a Mythic Legions with that armor would be unfreaking believable. But what... Yeah, right. He was ready. Me, not so much. Look, the life vest, the mask for armor, love it. Look, we've had Nerf battles in the yard. I've probably got 30 Nerf guns. Some of them are different brands. We tried to find the most high-powered bolt action sniper, you name it, and we shoot the shit out of each other. Absolutely. And so that's kind of what we did. But we also went to the flea market in Nashville. Now, I want to give you guys some comments about the flea market in Nashville. The flea market in Nashville, Tennessee used to be one of the biggest in the southeastern United States. It was at the Nashville Fairgrounds, which was up on a hill. And there were many covered spaces outdoors, let alone multiple buildings to go into. And it was truly a massive flea market. The X-Shot is absolutely great. I endorse X-Shot 100%. And so the flea market was always really, look, as a kid growing up, you know, your parents say, "Hey, let's go to the flea market." You're like, "Ugh." But what I would find at the flea market was comics. There were multiple comic vendors, toy vendors, right, back in the day that had, you know, all your current toys, your He-Mans, your starting lineup, you know, your mask, your G.I. Joes and your Star Wars, everything. I mean, you know, they had all that stuff. They had posters, you know, anything obviously like a flea market would have. J Astro 319 That's a Prince song, by the way, off the Gold Experience album. Check it out. So it was a big flea market. It was kind of a pain in the ass because you had to walk up to get to it, one side or the other. You had to walk up a big ass hill, and on either side. But it was a big flea market. Well, ladies and gentlemen, Nashville now has a soccer team. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. We have a soccer team, a professional soccer team. And let me tell you, they put that stadium right where the flea market used to be. And they moved the flea market down the hill into 3 little convention buildings, 3 buildings. The buildings are decent size. And the outside is an okay size. But the flea market, unfortunately, went from being one of the best, to one. It's sad. It's sad to go there now. It's sad to go to that flea market now because there's so few vendors. So you don't get a varied amount of goods. Today, a Sunday, a beautiful day. Rain was somewhat forecasted. Was so light with vendors in the latter parts of April. So light with vendors that it was really shocking, to be honest with you, and really a shame. And I fear that the way Nashville is moving, we really are moving away from that down home kind of thing, that events like that being something that takes precedent. Instead, now we have to have a soccer team that draws in money, that can charge for parking. And hey, they charge $10 for parking at the flea market today. So I paid about $10. But you get what I'm saying, right? Concessions, jerseys, all that. And yes, there's a lot of people that have moved here from other places. They love soccer. We have a very large Hispanic population that has immigrated to our region in the last 25 to 30 years. And they are huge soccer fans. Okay. Hello. Like, it's just the truth. So, they support the soccer team big time, and that's great. But unfortunately, at the expense of something that had been around for many decades. And so it's a shame. I almost bought my Maypower the Force figure at the flea market. However, I went on eBay because I'm a terrible collector. Instead of the local market, I went online. And I can't wait for you guys to see what I'm going to do with that. Rowdy Rouse in the house says, hey, y'all. What's up, Rowdy? Just hanging out. Just hanging out. About to get into it, man. Got a few stories. Go get in some stuff and see what we can do. But yeah, I don't know if you guys have any good flea markets where you live. But the Nashville one really was a great one for many, many years, and unfortunately has kind of turned sour, Joe Fan 84 says, I went to that flea market and there was a guy selling these hand-carved sculptures. One I liked, the guy was asking $150 for us. That ain't worth that much. He got really mad. I could see that interaction. I could see that interaction for sure. I told my son today when we were walking around, I said, sometimes too, the people that are at the flea market, like the booths, if you're just perusing and you don't really see much, but you're just kind of looking to see if you do see something, and then they kind of fire up a conversation with you, and they're like, yeah, well, they start talking about shit you don't want to talk about. Or, obviously, they're trying to entice you to maybe buy something, like the guy at the toy booth that I was at, was trying to, hey, I got, Star Wars, man. These are all the original ones from, 77 to, 83 or 85. And, and I'm like, yeah, okay, cool. I was like, all right. But it was great. Yeah, swap meets and drive-ins back in the day, too, man. North Vegas, I bet in the 80s, North Vegas probably did have great flea market. Harder and harder to find. I still like going. Ours is on the last weekend of every month, or roughly the fourth weekend of every month. So there's 5 weekends in a month or some shit like that. However it works out. I don't know. Who cares? But anyway, so earlier I did mention, and I am gonna search it up real quick, because I did go to a Punk with Toys Facebook group, and I had to answer some questions to join the group. I didn't know that I was not a part of the group. As shocking as it was, and I'm, good God, scrolling down, I'm trying to find the damn post. Maybe 3-Star can post it maybe you can email it to me. I was trying to find the May Power of the Force that he posted. Let's see, featured. There we go. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages, that's my boy Otis McDonald getting down in the background. May Power of the Force. That's right. Now that was last year. As we can see. Let's see if I can find this year's. Golly. Watch. It's like, oh, I'm a Facebook newbie. I don't know, pinned or not. Anyway, you guys know the drill. May Power of the Force coming up. Jump in, get a figure, review a prequel figure this year. I believe that kind of the deal was like kind of the original 3 3/4 inch line that came out. I know there's a million different ones. Oh, fuck Phil Collins. Look, there he is. Yeah, that's posted by DG down south. 3-star draw. Man of many names. All right. Well, anyway, you guys, y'all probably know where to find it more than I do. Shit, I hardly ever use Facebook anymore. All right. So anyway, second thing. All right. Oh, Army Navy, man, Joe Fan, I'm with you. Army Navy, I'm with you. They closed the Freedmen's Army Navy surplus here in Nashville back last year. It was open from 1972 until last year. And the guy that owned it, him and his wife, definitely retirement age. Late 70s. Ready to hang out, chill out. Been doing it for a long time. And I miss that, because the only stuff we have now is modern warfare, modern police, modern military stuff in town now. Hard to find that retro stuff. Hard to find all that good old dusty, dirty, canteens and packs and suspenders and, you know, the whole 9 yards, straps and all that. Turk Murphy's Toy Solution says, pushy that likey button. Fellers, that's right. Hit the like button if you so choose. Definitely not forced. Rowdy Rouse says there's a big summer flea market that'll start around me soon, right next to Dinosaur. Where the hell is Dinosaur Land? See, I should know this, Rowdy, is my problem. I should know where Dinosaur Land is. I'm guessing out west. I could be wrong. Or Midwest, maybe. I know, you know, just thinking about where a lot of dinosaur stuff was found, you know, bones and fossils and stuff. But I'm probably really off. Okay, hello. At Virginia, of course it is, right? East Coast. Of course. I was right on the money. All right. So anyway, when is the last time some of y'all watched Revenge of the Sith? Was it recently? Was it within the last couple of years? When was the last time y'all watched Revenge of the Sith? And I'll give y'all a second to answer while I also jump back to the Dinosaur Land, because I got to grab my damn coffee. My Keurig made it like 30 minutes ago, and I forgot to get it. It's going to be so cold. Oh, yeah, that's some cold coffee right there. Hell yeah. Donut shop brand. Kroger's, that is. Let's see here. In Virginia, it's a hokey middle of nowhere tourist. I actually love that, though. I do. Dinosaur Land seems like someplace I need to take my grandkids. That probably pretty fun, actually. Pretty fun. Yeah, Nam era stuff. You know, when I was growing up, they had Nam era stuff at like Friedman's. Now it's a lot of Gulf War stuff like that. Well, it used to be until they closed. Do you still have the box for the Keurig? Yeah. Well, you know what? Maybe not, but it doesn't mean I can't pack it up. 3-star for Joe Fest. We'll pack it up. We'll bring it. It's in good shape too. That son of a bitch keeps on humming. All right. Revenge of the Sith. All right. 20th anniversary. Unaltered. Thank God. But actually, at the same time, I kind of wish it was. Is my favorite film of the prequel trilogy. However, rewatching it sometimes, and it's been a little while since I had it on. It was probably like TBS or TNT, and, you know, I had it on. I left it. It's tough. It's tough because if George Lucas had hired anyone else but himself to write the script, it would have been such a better movie, I would propose. A little too much CGI, like my son said. The pacing of the prequel trilogy is so different than the pacing of the original trilogy because they didn't have, you know, they were using practical effects. You could only get so many seconds. With CGI, I think George just went a little fucking ham. He just went way too fucking crazy. And it just, like, takes over the film. But on top of that, the dialogue between Anakin and Padme is dreadful. It is dreadful. It is embarrassing. Real people don't talk that way to each other. People in another galaxy, far, far away, don't talk to each other like that. You're so beautiful. It's because I'm so in love. No, it's because I'm so in love with you. Oh, Anakin, let's leave it all behind. We'll start over. It's so bad. It's so bad. I hate the sand part. That's in the second one. But I still love the movie because I love the dynamics and the turn. The turn is too quick for Anakin. But the dynamics of like Palpatine and the puppetry that he does and everything. It's like, I love the concepts. I love the political part of the prequel trilogy. I really do. And that's why I love the Clone Wars animated series, because in Clone Wars, you flesh out all of the stuff that gets referenced in the prequel movies. Obviously, the first one being the absolute worst because, let's face it, Jake Lloyd, God bless him. I hope he's doing great. Horrible, horrible performance. Horrible performance. And we've all seen the audition tapes between the other little blonde kid and Jake Lloyd. And for some reason, George liked Jake Lloyd, but the other kid actually sounded like an actor. And it's just so bad. It's hard to believe that a teenage Padme would fall in love with a 10-year-old. You know what I mean? Like, it's just rough. Like, just rough. And Matthew, I'm with you, man. Look, you know, the skipping all the Anakin and Padme stuff, I get it. I totally get it. I really, really do. It's if I could have skipped those scenes in this movie, and the only scene, the one scene I wouldn't skip is where she's in her apartment. Mace Windu told Anakin to stay behind while they go arrest Palpatine. And he's sitting in the temple or whatever. And there's this music with this Middle Eastern, like, kind of vocal part going on, and this low bass hum. And it's so freaking awesome. I love that scene. And she's staring at the temple, or, you know, she's staring across. He's staring across at her apartment from the temple, you know. And I love that scene. Other than that, nah, I'm with you, man. Like, I am so with you. And yeah, the book, definitely the book, so much better. And Joseph says OG trilogy was epic because Lucas had a genius group of people. Yes, very much yes. And Lucas was smart enough to listen at that time. He chose not to listen. Chose not to listen after for the prequel trilogy. And I hate it because it's like, you know, I want to see this movie on the big screen again. And it reminded me of me and 3-Star Draw going to every midnight showing of each prequel movie and walking away disappointed. Walking away disappointed. Rowdy says, I think Attack of the Clones has some of the worst prequel stuff. I agree. Attack of the Clones I think it is a terrible movie. And I know it's my cousin's favorite out of the three. I think Attack of the Clones is the one for me that I don't enjoy watching at all. Episode 1 had Maul at least, and that fight, I agree. 100%. I agree with you. Let's see. Yeah, I saw that. I figured that's what you meant. Was you shouldn't need Clone Wars, but I was like trying to look at the comments. If you guys heard me pause for a minute, like a minute ago, I was trying to read that because I was trying to figure out, like, clown ears. Who said what? Clown ears? And no, Clone Wars. Yeah, you shouldn't need Clone Wars. Okay, see, that's important. And Rowdy gets it because you shouldn't need to have to go in and fill in stuff that should have been in the movies. But I'm glad it's there because it actually does fill in a lot of stuff. Yeah, the big arena fight at the end of Attack of the Clones, I agree. That's probably one of the best parts. You know, and also, let's not kid ourselves, Padme looks really freaking hot in that white outfit. And then she gets her shirt ripped in half, too. I mean, come on, man. Like, at that age, you know, when I was the age I was 20 years ago, I was like, oh my God. It's like watching Black Swan. All right. Yeah, the dialogue. Yeah, the dialogue is awful. Right, it is. It's so bad. Yeah, Joe Fan. You know, the alternate story where Anakin never went to the dark side. So here's the deal. My son said that tonight in the car. He said in the car, he said, look, the one thing I want out of Disney Star Wars is not to keep revisiting this bullshit. I want them to do something just off the wall, crazy different, like a what if. Like the Marvel what if. He in the car, he said to me, I promise you this. He said, I would love it if they did something to where Anakin killed Palpatine. Because what's so whack about it is that literally, Palpatine's like, I have the power to teach you the ways to save Padme from dying. And then after he chops Mace's hand off and sends him, and he goes flying out the fucking window, Anakin bows down. And then Palpatine says, Only one person had the ability to save people from death. But if you and I work together, we can find out what that power is. If I was Anakin in that moment, I'd have been like, bitch. Like, bitch. Because then you just got played. You straight just got played. So I would love to see a what if. I would love that. I think that would be great. 100%. I would absolutely love that. Alternate story. Anakin, or Anakin took over as Emperor. Like, that would be wild. What if? What would happen? I know Marvel with the animated series has kind of fucked up the whole what if thing, but still, I think that would be fun. My son also asked me, he's like, man, Marvel or Star Wars stuff like every couple, 3 years. I'm like, no, they need to let it rest. I know they got some stuff coming out, but it's like we went from 83 to 99 without any new movies. That makes you miss it. It makes you value much more than if you're getting a movie every couple years, every 3 years. And I know they tried it with the trilogy, sequel trilogy, which were terrible. And I know they tried with the Solo movie and all that. Now we got Mandalorian and Grogu. What a great title for a movie. Matthew, Marsha and Frank weren't part of the prequel series. There was no one to challenge him. I agree. And Marsha, especially heading up with the editing team, saved Star Wars in edit. I had a crush on Natalie Portman too. Ain't gonna lie. Jennifer Love Hewitt too. Yeah, you're right, Rowdy. She is super wooden in all three. 100%. Super wooden in all three. Yeah, very pretty. But you're right. She's a much better actress than what she was allowed to accomplish in the prequel trilogy. And that's the shame of it, right? Because they put Jake Lloyd opposite her. Had they cast a little bit older kid that had acting chops, I think that film would have been much more received. But also, Jar Jar Binks got way too much screen time. Had they minimized Jar Jar's screen time, we also would not have that whole thing there. And let's not get it twisted, folks. The media now tries to act as if it was the fans who hated the actor Ahmad Best or somehow were sending him messages. No, it was the media. The media were the ones that talked shit about Jar Jar and Ahmad Best. There was no Twitter. There was no Facebook. There was none of that shit. No Instagram back then. So that social interaction was not around back then. But the media will try to trick you nowadays with a short memory and say, oh, the fans, they hate it. Ahmad Best, he almost self-deleted because he caught some. No, it wasn't the fans. It was the media. Like, let's not kid ourselves. It does seem very forced. Rowdy, yeah. I'm telling you, Mace beheads Jango Fett and then basically has Palpatine beat until he gets yeeted out the window after Anakin cuts his hand off with his lightsaber. Damn it. It's such a shame, right? Yeah, Jamie Presley was the shit too back in the day. Even in, My Name is Earl, right? Yeah, Jar Jar was a bit too much, Joe Fan. I agree. Darth Binks, Menjoza would have been cool. That's a good what if, right? That's a good one. And Turk, I gotta say this. Had they minimized Jar Jar's screen time to like a C-3PO level, that was C-3PO for the prequel trilogy. Of course, they included C-3PO, but that's kind of what. But he had too much screen time. Oh yeah, the Beverly Hillbillies movie. Man, we're gonna go down memory lane, folks. It's gonna happen. Anyway, so that was fun. That was fun going to see Revenge of the Sith. I had a great time with it. And if you guys get a chance, if you do want to go and check it out, it is a little expensive. I know my theater here in Nashville was right at like $600, $17.99 per seat. If you buy it online, then they add a surcharge and tax. So it was like $40 for us to go see that movie today. And that's without the $29 in 2 small sodas and a medium popcorn. $30, 2 small sodas, medium popcorn. They want to bring people back to the movie theaters. Maybe they ought to try to charge less money. Get a clue, Hollywood. All right, my friends, let's get into some topics, shall we? Let's see here. Attack of the Clones, they realized they'd screwed up with Jar Jar, and they put C-3PO back, yes, as the horribly overused, yes, comic relief. And, thought it would work. And you're right. It was like the member berries thing. It's like the member berries thing. And it didn't work. It really didn't work. $50. Yeah, $50. And that's if you're talking about popcorn and whatever on top of the tickets. I always recommend going to matinees. Couldn't pick a matinee this time just because of the time of day, the day we had. But I always recommend matinees. 137.625%. Or 180 was it 180.15? Isn't that the comm link on Metal Gear? I've been playing some Metal Gear lately. Oh gosh, yes. Whatever the hell that I know what you're talking about, that biker move. So Mendoza, that's what we did a couple weeks ago. We went to the movie theater in the mall, bought popcorn and a couple drinks, and we left. We didn't even see a movie. Rowdy Ross says Paramount. So Viacom was trying to tell movie theaters to cut prices and extend matinees and do more deals, but they don't want to listen. And it's funny that Viacom is making sense. Yeah, no kidding. No kidding. I would love some anime stuff at the theater. I'd love variety, but the problem is variety is not drawing in people. And also, the producers of the content, right? Like they pay the theaters to carry it. So good luck on finding a theater that's going to carry some, offshoot, something like that. $6 to watch Solo Leveling on the big screen, 30 minutes. I agree. It's a concept, and it may come to pass. Tony's Figs in the house. What's up, Tony? On the west side. Good to see you, buddy. Well, you sitting at about 7:44 right now. 7:45 on the west side. Chilling. Always good to see you, my friend. And hopefully I get to see it at Joe Fest. Don't know the situation as of yet, and not asking, but hopefully we'll see. Had a blast last year, that's for sure. Okay. Let's get into a few topics. I got one pulled up right here. And I've got, it's interesting to me, the comparisons the media trots out, that the media really tries to push out to us, to remind us of certain things, or to push our minds in a certain direction, or to create controversy, to create division. So I've been watching Andor, first 3 seasons, and I came across a scene that I know Andor is very grounded. I know it's very grounded. It's more of a say real life Star Wars, right? That's what people want. They want adult Star Wars, right? We got to have adult Star Wars, so we got to have a show like Andor. Now, I liked Andor. I liked Andor quite a bit. And there is a scene in Andor that I don't know that it has a place. And I'm talking about an essay scene. Okay? Andor creator explains that shocking assault scene were all the product of grape. I don't know if you guys have seen this. Have you seen this? Have you heard of this? Have you seen this? Have you heard of this? So in Andor, the first 3 episodes, in the 3rd episode, I believe, there was a scene where one of the characters is in a they're on a planet. It's like wheat farm. It's a farm planet basically, and Imperials are going around doing ID checks. They're doing census, and they're checking to see who is legally there and who's not. So obviously, right away, we know that Andor's trying to make a metaphor for current day affairs, right? Which, you know, okay, whatever, that's fine. But is this something you guys think needs to be in Star Wars? Now, me personally, I don't need it to just be lightsabers and the Force. I like the political parts. I like diving into the different machinations of the Empire. I like diving into the machinations of the Rebellion. I'd love for them to go back to the Old Republic. I'd like to see Darth Revan. I'd like to see Darth Malak. I'd like to see some of these other characters. But does S.A. Grape scenes, with the word specifically said too, by the way, like she says the word grape, you know, he was trying to grape me. Does that belong in Star Wars? Do you guys think that that's something that, you know, I think it's kind of goofy. Some people recommended that they come up with a different word for it. I think that's dumb. But I'm not so sure we need, I guess we need this in something like Star Wars, right? I think she could have said something like Matthew says they didn't need her to say it. I don't think we needed, like, you know, her to just come right out. Assaulted me, right? He tried to assault me or something like that. I don't think it needs to be so on the nose. That's just my opinion. That's how I feel about it. As Rowdy Riles says, I don't think we need edgy adult Star Wars. Yeah, to me, it's like, I get the scene, I get the context of the scene. I don't think we needed to see as much of the scene. I think we could have had a cutaway, implied action, but we didn't need to see the whole thing. It was a pretty long scene. And look, she ends up getting the better of this guy. Ends up, you know, blasting him. You know, he gets taken out. And I get it. In fascist, imperialistic societies like this, there are bad people who do bad things. But I'm not so sure that this was the right statement. But what the statement, and I'll talk about it in full here in a moment, was from Tony Gilroy. Because what the spirit of what he's saying, I understand. But it definitely didn't come across the right way. But Joseph says, what happened to us complaining because space wizards with laser swords that be made for kids? Right. That was the complaints for the longest time, right? Matthew Matson says they released the article the day the series dropped to cause a distraction. It did, but it backfired and caused people to check out. The scene was tame and relatively irrelevant. I agree. The scene actually is not that bad. It's not something that's just like, oh my God, you know, that was a monument, you know, or it wasn't hyped up to be like where sometimes the rags, you know, the magazines and websites will say that this was such an important moment, empowering moment for this character. You know, we don't need that, you know, but it really is a nothing burger. And yeah, Menjoza, like, so he says Vader would decimate the whole Imperial troops if he found out this happened. This is why I don't watch Andor. I don't think it's something Vader would be just okay. Vader would not stand by and be like, ho, 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 yeah, you are. Even if it was a Jedi. Like, it's just not. So that's why I think it's just weird to have it in the first place. If you want to show a fascist dictatorship and all that stuff, that's fine. You know, it's fine. But I just don't think we needed it. Even in a show as serious as Andor. Because Andor is kind of a serious... We all know the end result of Andor. We all know the end result of Cassian Andor, right? So we know, to the detriment of the show, that there's really no tension whenever he's in trouble, because you know he lives until he doesn't. Matthew says, in truth, it was assault. So, she stopped it. I thought it was fine as well. I don't think it was a big deal. However, I think it didn't need to go on as long as it did. But we definitely didn't need her to just come right out and say it. I think it's just, I think it pulls you out of the show, out of the universe. It just does. But yes, there's been that in the movies and the books and stuff. You know, murders and slavery. Jay Astro, I agree. You're right. So it is. And for me, I'm not put off by it. Like I said, I think the scene was fine. I think that all these articles started coming out, and it was maybe to try to draw attention away from it, or maybe to talk about it and say, hey, this is an important moment. You know, this is an important moment. And you're right, Rowdy, they did open season 1 in a brothel, right? You know, it's kind of like, and look, I played Knights of the Old Republic. You know, I remember the dancing Twi'leks in the bars and stuff like that, you know, and the same music in every damn bar. But at the same time, you know, I didn't need to go this far. But it just blew up. It became a big story. So I just wanted to gauge you guys' opinion. I just wanted to, get y'all's opinion on what you thought about it. And I guess pretty good answers in here. You know, and yeah, exactly right. Like, so edgy and so real, you know, and it's like, I don't need statements from my Star Wars though. I don't need statements from my Star Wars. Like that's just me. But Rogue One, was a little more, you know, it's shocking, I guess, to some people. Everybody dies in the end, you know, whatever. But, and I like Rogue One. So it's actually one of my favorite Disney Star Wars products. Besides Andor Season 1, I did like it. Yeah, dancing Twi'leks. Now you've got my attention. Yeah, like Jabba's palace, baby. However, scroll down here because I want to get back. I want to get to the actual topic, or not the topic. I want to get to the quote at hand. I want to read it in context, okay? About what Gilroy actually said about being a product of grape. That we're all a product of that. Let's see here. So it's taking me a second. I had it until I closed it. I'm such a terrible live streamer. Just terrible. Okay. I get one. Okay, so first of all, he says, when asked about the Bix scene, because that's the girl, Andor creator Tony Gilroy explained to The Hollywood Reporter that he was telling a story about a war. Shying away from SA didn't feel truthful. He says, I get one shot to tell everything I know, or can discover, or that I've learned about revolution, about battles, with as many incidents and as many colors as I can get in there without having the story tip over. I mean, let's be honest, man. The history of civilization, there's a huge arterial component of it that's grape. All of us who are here, we are all the product of grape. I mean, armies and power throughout history have committed grape. So to not touch on it in some way, it was just organic and it felt right coming about as a power trip for this guy. I was really trying to make a path for Bix that would ultimately lead to clarity but a difficult path to get back to clarity. So that's the full statement. That's the full statement. It's making a statement, but I'm not a fan of the whole, like, I mean, let's be honest, the history of civilization, all of us here now are all a product of grape. Like that's a smart man making a really dumb comment. And we've all done it. But I think that was a very stupid comment. And that's the comment that blew up, is that all of us who are here are a product of grape. You know, yeah, armies have committed grape throughout history. It doesn't mean we're all a product of it. There were children born out of love, right? Like, so it's a dumb statement, but it's a statement that blew up, and it's a statement that may come back to bite Andor in the ass, no matter how good the show is. I'm sorry. Rowdy says, I enjoyed season 1. I still know why they needed to make it the way they did with all that extra real stuff. I just want Star Wars. And see, that's exactly, a lot of fans feel that way. A lot of fans feel that way. You know, I like some of the realism. I like exploring the politics of it. I even told my son today, like episode 3, I said, look, if there was an offshoot where it explored Palpatine and all his machinations behind the scenes and in the Senate and political intrigue, I would watch that. I would buy into that. I'm okay with that. I just thought this was a little more than what we probably need, you know? And you know, look, it is upsetting for some people. I'll be honest with you, Rowdy, I don't know if there's a warning at the beginning of the episode. I can't recall seeing one. There may very well be. If there wasn't, there may have been one added. What I will say, however, is that we are all adults here. And I do think that part of being an adult is being able to rationalize, or being able to at least, you know, see things and understand them within context. That also means doling out whether or not it needs to be there or not. Does it fit? Is it something that means a lot to you? If that is, then you know, I think everybody has that right of refusal, right? You know, it's like, hey, you know, I don't care for that. And it for me, a lot of it, and this is going to tie into my next topic, or not my next topic, but a topic here in a minute, is that we all have the right to change the channel. We all have the right to turn the radio off, right? I think that's a very important thing to always remember, that we, you know, when we talk about internet bullying, you know, if you go into a Call of Duty lobby and you think you're not going to hear like the N-word, or you think you're not going to hear retard, or you think you're not going to hear like, you know, other stuff, like, then you're woefully, you know, ignorant in that fact. But I'm not saying anyone's ignorant in watching the show or whatever and determining for themselves what they want to watch. I am all about that. But I don't recall if there was, and I'm sure there probably is, to be quite honest with you, there probably is a warning at the beginning of the episode that may not be a real long one. Sometimes you see these really long, drawn out, you know, this may, you know, this is a depiction of something that is outdated, stereotype, blah, 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 whatever, that kind of thing. Sometimes you see those really over explanations. It's like I said, I mean, we're all adults here. I think we all can reason. But I think there is at the beginning of it, if I remember correctly. But yeah, you are correct. It is upsetting for some people. And so being able to determine whether that's for you or not, I totally get it. Yeah, Jabba, that whole scene in Return of the Jedi where he licks Leia, then he kisses her, it was cut out, but like if I remember right, the description is that he didn't like her skin because of the sand and all that crap. That's why he doesn't, he's like put off by Leia, I guess, or whatever, you know, but yeah, this is, let's see, a fetish for human women. Yeah, I think most of us, you know, or most of us that are attracted to female women, yeah, probably do have a fetish. You know, But right, yeah, exactly. Like, at least they put the statement out as all. But the way that he said stuff was not correct. Right. It's funny because like all you heard was the one statement, but in reality, like there's more to that context, and I think that's something I always like to find out about. I like to find out context. I like to find out reason, and I like to look at all sides of the coin. And I think reading that quote in longer form makes sense. And Joseph says, if you believe that Lucas and his writers are reliable narrators, then no, Lucas and his crew specifically denied that, like some assumed Lambert's death was more freaky and alien. His writers were narrators. If you believe, help me out here. If you believe that Lucas and his writers are reliable narrators, then no. Lucas and his crew specifically denied that. Now I get it. I was just missing a punctuation there, baby. I get it. I got you. If I dip, you dip, we dip. At the palace, baby. Tell me about it. Yeah, Carrie was beautiful. And a really looked like a fun person. You know, had her own problems, had her own experiences. But seemed like a very, very fun person. Very fun person. I'm not going to go too deep. No, I am going to go in this topic because it is one of my topics that I wanted to bring up. And I think, you know, this is kind of, you know, ties into what, you know, I'm talking about tonight. And I think that, man, Josie, you're good. You're absolutely good. So do you guys remember when Disney cast Gina Carano aside for basically liking an Instagram post during COVID? Who she's now being funded by Elon Musk in her lawsuit against Disney, and seems to be winning because she was unfairly fired from the Mandalorian series. She was supposed to start her own series, Rangers of the New Republic, and she got let go because she liked a post on Instagram. Maybe she shared it. Maybe. I don't even think she even commented on it. But it was an opinion a lot of people had during COVID. And she also put beep, bop, boop in her pronouns, because I don't think anyone should be forced to put pronouns in their Twitter bio or their Instagram bio. If you want to do that, that's fine. I don't think anybody should be forced. And if they don't want to do it, I don't think anybody should be denigrated for it. I think it's freedom of choice. It's like I said, turning the radio station, turning the channel. You don't have to like everybody, and not everybody has to like you. That's a fact of life. I think we all should understand that. I hate racism more than you do, but I also understand that there's just going to be some in this world, and it is what it is. I hate cancer more than you do. But guess what? There's cancer in this world. It sucks. But I just want to announce right here that I hate cancer more than you do. That's sarcasm. So Pedro Pascal has done a lot. He's posted a lot of stuff with Disney. He is cast in every fucking thing that's coming out lately. Last of Us, Fantastic Four, Mando, and Grogu. Shit, whatever. Matthew will probably post it, right? There's a lot in here. To him, but he has posted a lot of stuff. And I remember when Gina Carano got fired by Disney for liking an Instagram post, and it had to do with the vaccinations, and it had to do with comparing the door-to-door and the denigration of people who didn't want to get vaccinated or were going to lose their jobs. Companies and government were basically holding you hostage of feeding your family if you didn't take a experimental vaccine. And those that had the opinion they didn't want to take it, I don't think there's anything wrong with that opinion, as we later have now found out that there was nothing wrong with that opinion. But yet at that time in 2021, they were definitely made to feel or deplatformed or silenced or censored on platforms like YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and the like. We've come to find out a lot of that information was bullshit. But Gina Carano got let go by Disney. Pedro Pascal, however, has been able to, I think Pedro has been able to skate around those issues. Now, he compared half the country to Confederates from the 1860s, back when people voted for Trump. Yeah, I don't care who you vote for president. Doesn't matter to me. I'll make jokes here and there. But making posts like that, but then nothing comes to Pedro's way, right? He doesn't lose any movie roles. He doesn't get fired. He doesn't get ostracized. People aren't going on social media. Bots aren't botting him every time he posts something. So let's talk about it, because this is what I do. J.K. Rowling was called a heinous loser after she celebrated the UK Supreme Court trans ruling. Pedro Pascal called her a heinous loser. Now, here's the deal. He does have a sister that has transitioned. And that is... I don't care. I don't know this person. I don't know Pedro. I don't know J.K. But what I do know is that people have the right to live their lives the way they want to. I think most of us just want to live our lives and be left alone, right? Like to make our way, to have our fun, to have our toys, to buy our comics, to watch our movies, to watch our shows, to go to work and work, right? Now, don't get me wrong. I get it. The issues are more complicated when we start talking about healthcare and who's eligible and what constitutes a spouse and the things of those nature. Who is eligible for federal money for surgeries and things of that nature. I get it. I know this issue is multi-complicated, multifaceted. But what I don't care for, Todd C. Good to see you, buddy. Is that anytime I've ever really looked at the things J.K. Rowling has said or posted, I'm not finding the horror. I'm not finding the... I mean, this is probably a woman who has fought for women. And when I say women, I mean biological women. Now, I'm not saying that you can't call yourself whatever you want. If you want to identify as a woman, I really don't care about that. I don't care about that. But I don't think it's also fair to turn around and then denigrate someone who doesn't carry that opinion. We don't all have the same opinions, folks. That's the reality of life. And you can't force people to have an opinion when the reality is that a huge majority of people don't have that opinion. Now, again, I don't give a shit. I don't care. I don't care what you do. Go shoot up. Go smoke weed. Go drink a pint of vodka. Knock down a handle of whiskey if you want. I don't give a shit. As long as you don't get in a car. But like, so I don't care what people do in their personal lives. But I'm not a fan of bullying people into believing in something that they just don't believe in. Like, you're not going to change people's minds by attacking, by calling names. And that goes both ways. That goes both sides on this issue. Many issues, right? It goes both ways. Now, I think humor, I think the self-humor, self-deprecating humor, having humility is a quality that seems to be lost these days because of discourse. We can't have honest discourse with each other. But yes, this bill in the UK is determining what is and isn't a biological woman. I'm sorry. Again, I have no problem if someone wants to identify as whatever they want to identify with. But, biologically, there's a difference between men and women. We can break it down to sports. You know, when it's sports like swimming and lacrosse and bowling and shit like that, nobody cares. But I'm going to tell you something, guys. Okay? You have a 6'7" LeBron James go into the WNBA and start dunking all over these chicks, and then people have a problem with it. Catch my drift? Then the outrage would happen, right? This isn't fair. How can this be? Averaging 50 points a night. Wilt Chamberlain shit. Scoring 100 points in a game. Then people would have a problem with it. But when it's swimming, when it's track, oh no, it's not a big deal. Put that shit in people's faces, front and center, on a Sunday afternoon on NBC, with some dude dunking all the fuck over these girls. Then people have a problem with it. And that's just the reality of it. Now, if that happened, you know what? I wouldn't give a shit because I don't watch the WNBA anyway. I think that shit's trash. But I'm just saying that, like, we have to understand, like, there's got to be ground rules. If there's no ground rules, then we just open things wide open. We just open it wide open. Then anything goes. And if anything goes, then nothing is real. Nothing is solid. But I find it interesting. Not even funny. I find it interesting because you'll see article after article about, here it is. In a recent video, activist Tariq Rauf blasted all the awful, disgusting shit that Rowling, who has long espoused anti-trans rhetoric. What anti-trans rhetoric has she espoused? Like I think really ultimately, other than just promoting women, biological women, what is wrong with that viewpoint? I don't understand what's so seriously wrong with that viewpoint. So I'm going to get to you guys because I know that there's some chats. I know there's some stuff in here, and I know that there's going to be, there's going to be some definite, yes. So Menjoza, really quickly, yes. Matthew, rather, I'm sorry. You're right. He is saying boycott the Harry Potter TV show because of J.K. Rowling working for Warner Brothers, and yet he is in a Warner Brothers TV show on Max, on HBO. That shit is whack to me. And Rowdy Rouse says, I think Pedro's main problem with J.K. Rowling is his sister is trans. Yeah, and she is. And he's gone to bat for his sister. Rowling is just kind of awful for no reason about it. I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that at all. Awful. What is awful? Awful of having an opinion. Awful of having for me, that's, we're all entitled to that. We don't all have to accept everything. And we can all still exist. Like, that's okay. And I'll say something here too. Are there people in this world who go out of their way to hurt people, hurt trans people, hurt gay people? Yes. And guess what? There always will be. But I'm going to tell you something. And I 100% fully believe this. Most people go out of their way to make sure they do not offend, denigrate, talk shit, look funny, you name it. I'm not saying there aren't people that don't, that do the opposite. There's always going to be people who do the opposite. But in my life, it's just like racism. Most people I know going to a MAPCO station, holding the fucking door open, talking to the cashier, buying gas, going to the grocery store, working as a bartender in a restaurant, meeting and greeting and talking to all kinds of fucking people. And I am so sorry, but I'm going to tell you, all them racist Tennesseans, them fucking southern motherfuckers out there that just hate all the black peoples, I don't talk to them, y'all. Now, if they're closeted, that's their own deal. But most people I see, most normal, regular, common sense people go out of their way even. And some might say, well, why do you have to go out of your way? Because of shit like this. You've been forced, you've been told, you lose your job, lose your life, lose your livelihood. Just because you don't agree with someone else. Even though you don't go after them, even though you don't talk about them, even though you don't do anything, have anything to do, you still can be beat the hell down. That's what I don't like. We ain't all going to love each other. We ain't all going to agree. In a utopia, that'd be great. We'd all wear gray, genderless suits, and we would have, what is it, from South Park, where we have non-denominational plays. I guess. But that doesn't sound like a fun world to me. It's about being different. And being different is great, but it also means accepting not everybody has the same opinion. And that's okay. I'm Rowdy, I got to disagree with I'm sorry. Trans women aren't women. Biologically, they're not. You can say whatever you want to. You can be whoever you want to be. But you're never going to convince the majority of people that that's the case. That that's the truth. Like, it's science, biology, like it's... I love you. And I'm glad you come up tonight and hung out. It's the first time I think you've come in to hang out. It's probably because you saw my thumbnail and somebody told you about it, whatever I was going to talk about. That's cool, man. I appreciate it. I really do. But I disagree with you on that topic. And that's fine. That's okay. And if you don't like me or unsub, I fully understand. I do. I truly do. I truly do. But these are my thoughts. This is what my Unfiltered show is all about. You know, these are my thoughts. And so that's just, you know, that's how I feel. You know, legislating out of existence, it's not, I don't think legislating out of existence. I think it's just that, you know, she's famous, but there's probably 98% of the people that are in that government, and there's probably, you know, 98% of the people that probably feel the same way. But she's famous. She's a name. Yeah, she's a name. And Joe Fan, I'm with you. Don't want it shoved down my throat, slapped in my face, do what you want. I may not like who I am. I'm just 41-year-old that collects toys. And I think that's the problem. Is that, again, I go back to it. Most people don't really care. You know, I don't even think necessarily that you have to spell it out in law. It's just common knowledge. And no one's going out of their way. Right? Like, you know, and also too, whatever happened to celebrating women? Like actual biological women. What's wrong with that? Is there something wrong with celebrating biological women? Is that a problem? Like, evidently that's a problem now. So, somehow, and that's what I mean. Like, so that's a problem now. I don't understand why that's a problem now. Dreadnought K6, funny with Pedro on The Last of Us, they had a chance to portray Abby accurately, like in the game, but they chose not to. They chose a 4'0", 90-pound waif to beat the shit out of her. And then she had a 5-minute monologue to tell him what a horrible person he was. Just because he saved a girl's life. And you're right, Dreadnought. They did have a chance to represent the community. And they chose not to. When they worked really hard to represent the LGBTQ community in the game. Turk Murphy says 90% of the folks I know in Tennessee are black. Hey, I know plenty. I've known, I mean, shit. One day, One day I'll write a book. You know, and Dreadnought, you know, Champion 4, for whatever reason, choose not to call, choose not to yet call others bigots, yet when they had a chance to actually put their money where their mouth is, they folded and casted a small girl. Yeah, I know what you're saying about Last of Us. Yeah, I get it. And Turk, you can be a ladies professional wrestler. I know that's going back a little bit to the you know, LeBron James dunking all over chicks in the WNBA, but that's just, you know, it's the reason I'm saying this is not because I don't even hate, I don't hate anybody. I don't even give a shit about, I don't hate people. You know, I don't go out of my way to be mean to people. I would dare say you're going to have a hard fucking time trying to find a person that actually doesn't like me. And what I mean by that, okay? What I mean by that is anyone that's ever interacted with me in person, you're going to have a hard time finding somebody who doesn't say, hey man, that dude's all right. That dude's all right. That's a good dude. Like, I could get along with a fucking tree, okay? So, War Chest is here in the house. What's up, War Chest? Glad to see you, my friend. So what I'm saying is like, this whole, you know, okay. So Bethesda and another studio came out with a remake of the Oblivion RPG from 2005, I think it was. And instead of having male, female body types, they changed the body options to body 1 or body 2. Well, why? And on top of that, the debate about, like, you know, as far as like trans people in games or whatever, well, technically, if you're transitioning from male to female or female to male, aren't you still going to select a male or female body type? Does that body type not fit what you identify yourself as? So what is the point in removing the male-female body type selection out of the original game when you remaster it and putting in just a generic type 1, type 2 body? So type 1 is a male, which we all normal, regular, everyday people recognize as a male body type. And then as a female body type, we recognize that as a female body type. That's what we do. That's what 95% of the people out there do. So just label it male, female. And again, if you're a female transitioning to a male, then you're going to pick the male body type. Am I correct about that? Or am I off base with that thing? Like, I'm not understanding. And yet, you know, if you're a male transitioning to female, then you want to be female. So if you're playing Oblivion Remastered, would you not choose the female body type? So it contradicts then what your activism for. Am I missing something? So again, this whole thing over the Oblivion Remaster, and I'm going to tell you something. Nexus Mods is a huge, the biggest modding site, repository, where you can download all your mods for every video game that you have on your PC, and you can change all kinds of shit. You can put sexy anime babes, you can put hairy, big fucking fat men in it, you can put whatever the fuck you want in your game. There's a mod for it. Someone modded in so that you could mod your Oblivion Remaster and re-establish the male-female body type in the game. And Nexus Mods took it down. They took it down. And tried to disguise it as like hateful or like being denigrating to some people. I'm not sure how that works. But folks, like 2 or 3 days later, they caved back in. And they actually reinstated that mod. Because there's nothing wrong with that mod. There's nothing wrong with people having a different fucking opinion. Like, I'm so tired of gamers or people that watch movies and being told they must conform to a certain ideology and opinion, or else they're a fucking bigot, that they're a horrible person. As I said a little while ago, not everybody's going to love you, and you're not going to love everybody. There are racist people in this world. There are bigoted people in this world. I don't know any of them. Now, if me talking about this on my stream makes somebody go out and say, hey, that Pop Blender, he's a bigot. What an asshole. I don't think I've said anything in the last 30 minutes that would actually qualify for that. And I firmly believe that. I have opinions. I don't think they're outside the lines. I don't think they're crazy. They may not be the same opinions as anyone else, but that's okay. But I'm tired of watching gamers get just bullied. Folks, do you know what the average age and demographic of most gamers who utilize the Steam platform or Xbox or PS5 are? Do you understand what demographic they are in the general age group? And do you know what most of those people are into? And what they are? They're like mostly white teenage males. And you know what most white teenage males are into? Ass and titties. Ass and titties. Ass and titties and titties and ass. Like, let's not pretend like that's any different than 6 decades ago, 8 decades ago, 15, 14 fucking hundreds. Come on, man. Let's not kid ourselves. Yeah. Joe Fan, I bet you were in Atlanta the only Caucasian in your high school. Warchest says, I'm so pretty. I go out of my way to feed your hate. Laugh out loud. Hang on. Fix my eyebrows. And you know, Dreadnought, could we avoid all this stuff? I don't know. You know, could we? There's a million solutions out there. Some people want utopia. Some people want division. Some, you know, like our government and our media. Some people want to just live their lives. Some people don't give a shit because it doesn't really matter to them because it's just not in their realm, not in their bubble. You know, it's all over. But the bottom line is, as Matthew Matson identifies as a werewolf, which I'm happy for you, Matthew. If that makes you happy, I am happy for you. But don't expect werewolves to get fucking benefits. Shit. Like, you know, that's way outside the realm. You can identify as a chair. I don't care. Whatever. I don't care. I really don't. But I also don't think it's fair to denigrate other people just because they don't have the same opinion. Especially when they belong to like 95% of the entire population of the world. I have seen, Joe Fan, stories of teachers being fired for not referring to children who have said that they identify as a cat and would prefer to be called a cat. I've seen stories of teachers being fired for refusing to address them as kitty or whatnot. Common Core math, fuck that. War Chest transitioning into an asshole. I didn't know you were transitioning. I just thought you already were. TGI Fridays Tater Skins is the man I am. I love it. And I used to serve them up all the time, my friend. And I agree, Joe Fan, just having an opinion gets you called names these days. The thing of it is I really do truly think that, like, people, Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff in the house, ladies and gentlemen. Give it up. Ring that bell off the top rope, top turnbuckle. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Wonderful. Yeah, I just think that and I'm with you, Dreadnought. Call whatever you want to call. I don't give a shit. Call me whatever. But bottom line is I just don't think we can't just say, like, you must adhere to this ideology, that you have to believe this or you're a terrible person. I don't think that's fair. I don't think it's fair to anybody. I really don't. And most people don't want that. They don't want that. They're not asking for that. So quickly, I just wanted to show you guys. So the person who wrote this article, Nexus Mods decides to allow an Oblivion Remastered mod that changes body type options to male to female, declares it's not a battleground for broader cultural or political debates. So they just allow, this is, yesterday, I think, they allowed that mod to reinstate the male-female body types. Now, again, if you're trans and you're transitioning to female, then I assume in the game, if you're playing it, you'd want to pick female. If you're, female transition to male, you want to pick male. Now, I know there are people that are non-binary. I don't care about that. However, in this article, the writer of it, Andy Chalk, and I love how he says, one of the very small changes in Oblivion Remastered is a switch in the character created from male to female bodies as it was in the original to body type 1, body type 2. It's the sort of thing that would likely go entirely unnoticed, that's bullshit, were it not for the distressingly predictable explosion of outrage from the usual corners of toxic gamerdom. Oh, you mean like just regular everyday people. And in short, the creation of a mod that brought back the original male-female body options. For a few days, the Nexus mods made a point of removing the mod, called Body Type Selector, whenever it was uploaded and re-uploaded, the mod. Because, of course, these guys can't take no for an answer. Oh, wait a minute, let me think about that. Oh, so wait, us or the people that are trying to force us to can't take no for an answer? Nexus has now changed. Here we go again. Here we fucking go again. Come on, Otis. Let me check the settings. So this is what happens when you try to share shit. So like, see, this is StreamYard and YouTube trying to take me down. They're trying to stop me. Oh my God. Yeah, canceled. Exactly. See? Exactly. Joe fan, right? Yes. You try to share an article and this is what happens. You let me know if you can hear the background music because I cannot. There is no background music happening for me. All right, let's check the speakers. Let's check everything. Yeah. Yes, I may encounter some technical difficulties. All right, so you can hear me. Great. I'll see if I can get my background music back up. If not, then we're just gonna go at it. Fuck it. This is like a bug in StreamYard. So maybe I don't need to open two windows at once. Oh no, I didn't buy this PC for this shit. Anyway, so the reason, according to community notice on the mod page, is that the mod itself doesn't violate any policies. The previous uploads were taken down, not because of their content, because of the uploader's behavior. So the person who uploaded the mod went on a rant on their own personal social media or maybe on Discord and said some shit that probably doesn't need to be, probably a lot worse than what I'm talking about tonight. But It was re-uploaded, and they allowed it. So here's the deal. Andy Chalk says, so let's just cut to the chase. It's a flimsy excuse for a crappy decision, stating that the problem isn't the mod, but the intention of the author is patently ridiculous because the mod is literally the primary expression of that intent. Okay? Okay. I love it. And Nexus made no bones about why these mods were removed. After taking down the pronoun removing Starfield mod, for instance, Nexus mod said, we stand for diversity and inclusion in our community, and the removal of diversity while appealing to many does not promote a positive modding community. Is everybody supposed to be positive? Is every person supposed to be positive? Like, I just don't understand. So it says right here, so why does the body type selector mod get a pass? Maybe anti-trans sentiment ranks a little lower on the poll than other forms of queerphobia on Nexus mods, or maybe the moderators are just getting tired of the whole moderating thing. Whatever the reason, the bottom line is that Nexus mods seemingly recognizes that this body type selector mod exists as a dog whistle for trans folks. So because you want to be able to select a male or female body type in your video game, you're a transphobe. That's where I have the issues. That's the kind of shit that I hate seeing. Like that's what I hate seeing. Because it's literally, it's a mod. And if someone wants to add the male female body type, so let me ask you this. Why did Bethesda take it out of the game? Or why did they allow it to be taken out of the game? What was wrong with having those body types? What was so wrong that you, and on top of that, it's very disingenuous for the author of this article to sit there and think, because I'm going to tell you something. Oblivion came out in 2005. Do you know what the average age of the person that's going to be playing this fucking remaster is? Old enough to know what's up. So it's disingenuous to act as if just because there's a million mods for a million things. So why take it out? Why take it out? And then on top of that, just because someone wants it in, why go out of your way to call people out for wanting to put the mod back in? Now, Jay Astro says, come on, though, they have an intention in their game. If people are mad about it, they can also just as easily not play it. It's not even about being mad about it. Does that make sense? Like, it's not about just being mad about it. It's that, hey, okay, why did you change this about the original game? Like, what was so important that you needed to take that out? And then when somebody makes a mod to just put it back in the game, what's wrong with that? Trust me, there's a lot of mods out there that people should be way more upset about than that. Right? So it's not a matter of just don't play it, because it's so easy and reductive to say that. But to me, it's like, well, why take it out? Why take it out? Hey, I tell you what, why don't you add to it? Male, female, put a non-binary body type. And then you could adjust the sliders however you want to adjust the sliders. Right? Just add to it. If you want, just add to it. So again, multiple options, right? Do multiple options. That's my thing. I'm not going to be okay with like, oh, well, we got to remove. It's just like removing content out of movies now that aren't on physical media. And then you see a scene that you saw in its original format when you were younger or when you were whatever. And now when you see it, they take the scene out or they take the part out or the dialogue out, but you don't know it. You don't miss it, right? You don't know it. But then sometimes you do. And you're like, wait, that shit, I don't remember that shit. Right? That shit. So Andy Chalk on Twitter Good old Andy Chalk. Yeah, these posts are protected. PC Gamer News, Andy Chalk, PC Gamer got a tip. Now let's get the hell out of here. So he still has they still have a Twitter profile page that you can follow, but now they are on Blue Sky Social, which obviously won't last long. And then these posts are protected, right? So you can't even comment. You can't even comment on Andy Chalk. So Andy Chalk is very brave, writing a denigrating article. Gotta love it. I just find it fascinating. I find it fascinating. It's a hey, if you don't think the way I think, then you're a terrible person, right? You're a terrible person. You're horrible. And I don't believe that. I don't believe that. I also have a serious problem with this article right here. Gotta love it. From Collider, from Rachel Zegler to Kelly Marie Tran, Disney needs to stop hanging marginalized women out to dry. I didn't realize that millionaire actresses are marginalized and being hung out to dry. I didn't realize that actresses who have starred in multiple big ass movies are marginalized. I didn't realize they've been held down. I didn't realize they were oppressed. I didn't realize that they're being held down and told they can't do what they want to do. Oh, here we go. Here's a picture of someone who absolutely forced herself on a black character in a scene in The Last Jedi when she forcibly kissed Finn without him wanting it or asking for it. But of course, that didn't get called out, did it? So anyway, Kelly Marie Tran got little support when the Last Jedi Backlash targeted her. Okay, so a lot of bots and a bunch of fake posts targeted Kelly Marie Tran. I always love it because I want to see receipts. I want to see all the hate Kelly Marie Tran got. Because you know what? Fans love that character, didn't they? Can't you tell when you go to Ross and you see all the Rose Tico figures? A dozen Rose Tico figures. I think articles like this are so disingenuous. They feed into this narrative that you and I, as the fans, write the material. For instance, the hate ramped up with The Last Jedi after Tran and John Boyega suffered countless months of online abuse. No, I didn't write the character of Finn to be a buffoon and an idiot in subsequent movies. I didn't write that script. I didn't shape that character. I didn't put that character in the background. I didn't reduce the character's size on the posters for Star Wars in fucking China. I didn't do that. Disney did that shit. So that wasn't my decision, Collider. I had nothing to do with it. I actually liked Finn. I thought Finn would have been the better storyline than Daisy Ridley and Rey. But we didn't get that, did we? But guess who reduced his character's role, made him a fucking buffoon, a goddamn sidekick, yelling Rey's name all the time? Guess who did that? Disney did. And the directors they hired did. And the script writers they hired did. I didn't write the fucking script. So now you're going to blame me for months of countless online abuse. One might hope that Disney would have learned its lesson, but Disney did not prepare for this behavior to continue, nor did they make any real efforts to combat it. That's bullshit. That's absolute bullshit. They went out of their way to tell Moses Ingram that she was going to get a bunch of abuse online for her role as Reva. Or how about the chick in the fucking Acolyte series? That she was going to... No, get out of here. Says, instead, in Rise of Skywalker, Tran was entirely sidelined. I didn't do that. I didn't write that. That wasn't my script. Rose lands less than 10 minutes of screen time in the film. You know why? Because people didn't like her fucking character. And you know what happens to characters people don't like? They get sidelined. Not because the actor is Asian. They didn't like her character because it's a shit character, written shitty. And people didn't like the way she forced herself on Finn after she ran his ass, after he tried to sacrifice himself for the betterment of the rebellion or the resistance. She rams his fucking speeder out of the way in her own selfish motives because she's in love with him when he never ever once reciprocated those feelings. And then she assaults him. And he never reciprocates it back. And not in the next movie either. And yet it's our fault. It's our fault that Disney reduced her character to less than 10 minutes of screen time. Okay. Right. Make no mistake, these criticisms never had anything to do with the storytelling or character writing. Right. Yes. These never had anything to do with the storytelling or character writing. Yeah, they were all just Asian, get out. Asian, get out. If I said stop the Asian hate, I would dare say that this picture right here that we're looking at would probably look a whole lot fucking different. Bullshit. Fucking bullshit. The women Disney uses as scapegoats deserve much better. It's their fucking fault. Fine. But see, this whole article is like, Disney, they deserve better, and Disney. But then they turn around and they tell us we're the people. We're the ones that's wrong. We're the ones that didn't like the characters. So we're the one. We're the look, toxic fandom. Right? When in Marvel they cast Brie Larson, and all of a sudden they sandwich the fucking the Miss Marvel or whatever the fuck her name is in between the two most important films in the history of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So they made it out because it made over $1 billion, but they made it out because she was such an important character. And then we realized that it was a bullshit. It was bullshit. What'd they do in Endgame? They sidelined her. You know why? Because fans thought the character sucked. But it wasn't because she was a woman. It had nothing to do with that. They were, oh, I don't know, like, you know, Scarlett Johansson, pretty badass character. Black Widow, I think people like that character. I can think of a couple reasons they like that character. But do you get my drift? Like, do you understand what I'm saying? This blaming the fans, this stupid shit, it's so old. It's so tiresome. It's so tiresome. And yet here we are in 2025, still fucking writing. Bobby, whoa, what's up? Still writing these stupid ass articles. Bobby Willis says, I don't know who had worse lines. Anakin on Naboo about Sam, that was bad. Or her talking about Canto Bight. I'm putting her first through that beautiful town. Yeah, it's that whole scene, right? Like they're in a slow moving ship that can't escape a dreadnought, but the dreadnought can't fire on them. So they're like, we'll just wait till they run out of fuel. What a stupid fucking idea. First, it's fucking goddamn stupid shit. It's fucking stupid. And then, no, let's just go to the casino town. Fuck it. We'll be back. Fucking terrible. I didn't write that shit. I didn't write that bullshit. Stop fucking blaming me, motherfuckers. Jesus Christ. Like that gets me wound up, man. Wound the fuck up. She should have been in the kitchen making sandwiches. Actually, that would have been better for Finn. Been like, where's my pot pie? I miss my music. I guess since the whole fucking thing crashed, my music's just gone to shit now. Pisses me off. Damn you, StreamYards. What's your fucking malfunction? Your major malfunction, soldier. Seriously, though, like, I don't understand it. Like, StreamYard, I don't know. I don't know what to do. I got a good PC, too. Okay, so here's the deal, folks. April 22nd, 2025. we get this story. Bianca Censori bears it all in nothing but a sheer wet one piece. Do you guys remember at the Grammys when this happened? Kanye and this bitch showed up. And do you remember what a big stink it was that like they're like, oh, he forced her to take her clothes off. She didn't want to do it. You can tell, like you see these articles, it's like she wasn't comfortable. And then he gave her this look and he's such a terrible person. He forced her to get naked and walk around. Okay, that was at the Grammys, right? So this article is April 22nd, though. This was just a few days ago. And seems that she has no problem getting naked. It seems she has no issues with getting naked. It seems like she kind of likes getting naked in public. So all those comments and all those articles that were like, oh, Kanye, he forced her to get naked. It's ridiculous. Oh my God, it's terrible. He's such a horrible person. Now, you might think he's horrible for other shit. I don't give a shit. I don't think about the dude. I don't give a fuck about the dude. But this chick right here, this bitch, don't play them games. Don't give in to them. Don't feed into them. Right? Don't feed into them. This chick right here is famous for two things. Her boobies and just getting naked on the drop of a hat. This chick will get naked at the drop of a hat, yo. Like, it don't even matter. Like, throw down a 5, she getting naked. Throw a dime at her, she getting naked. You got a 35 millimeter camera from 1987, she getting naked. Straight up. Don't even give a shit. Look at this shit. She is also known to rock sheer tights as pants and cheeky pieces. Last fall, Censori made a statement when she wore a yellow throw pillow as a top to cover her exposed chest while out in Florence, Italy. So this chick does this shit all the time. All the time. And yet we still had these damn articles that was like, how dare he? How dare he? I agree with you, Joe Fan. I don't think she's attractive either. All these girls now got these duck lips, all this Botox bullshit, duck lip bullshit. Oh, I'm so tired of looking at these chicks, man. They look like a chick from Futurama. Profile pic. Her father has reportedly vocalized his disappointment over her skin-bearing outfits. People are confusing Bianca's creativity. Okay, so this bitch getting naked is creative. That's being creative these days. Thank you, OnlyFans. Thank you, Xvideos. Thank you, Pornhub. Getting naked is... Oh, wait, no. Her father even goes further. She is a phenomenal personality, a phenomenal actor who can entertain the public. She's a performance artist. No, father, she has 2 giant-ass titties and a fake-ass booty, Brazilian butt lift bullshit. That's why she's famous, Dad. Don't kid yourself. She might be slipping you money under the door for money, for, you know what I'm saying? She might be throwing you a little money, all right? But like that, she ain't no performer, and she ain't no artist, and she don't entertain the public, and she's not a phenomenal actress or actor, whatever you want to fucking call her. The bitch gets naked, and that's what she does. Tell her like it is. Good God. I mean, for real. Like, Dreadnought says she's not ugly, but she's just another run-of-the-mill Kardashian wannabe. Right. And some people think that chicks is ugly. Jamie Presley get naked? Down. Even now. Down. Even now. Yeah, exactly. Dad, they're looking at her tits. They're not looking at her acting prowess. Or her entertainment value. Sorry, Dad. You got it wrong there, son. And he's probably my age. That's the sad part about it, right? He's probably my age. Man, You know what, y'all? I ain't gonna lie. I am not gonna lie. I am really bummed that my background music just went to hell, and it won't start. Like it won't start. The volume don't work. None of it works. The loop don't work, man. My homeboy Otis and I were jamming for a long time, and now there is no jamming. I'm so pissed. I don't even know. It's all silent and shit. I don't like this shit. Oh well, just another rabbit hole to go down. Um, so here's another example of the media being fucking gross because that's what they do. I found this recent Q&A with some of the Full House actresses. Full House star Andrea Barber recalls gross question about family sitcom. So this is the type of leading stuff. This is the type of leading questions that we often get out of like the media. Let's see here. For instance, questions like this that are leading.
The gayest project Marvel has ever done.
Right? Like questions like that. They're leading, they're bullshit. You're trying to put somebody on the spot. And so that's the kind of bullshit that this is. And says that alongside co-star Jodie Sweetin, Andrea Barber, who played next door neighbor DJ Tanner's best friend Kimmy, recalled being asked in interviews if she ever had a crush on Stamos, calling it a gross question. She said, no, they're like our older brothers, and we do not think of them this way. Sweeten agreed, adding, not even older brothers, they're like my uncles. They're like family, and it's weird. There's nothing remotely attractive about this. They are just our buddies, and yeah, this is kind of a weird question. But that's the kind of shit that the media tries to pigeonhole people into so they can write a fucking article saying, oh, Jodie Sweetin wanted to date John Stamos or Dave Coulier. Cut it out. That's what they do. The shit is so fucking disgusting. It's not even funny. Like, for real. And yet they try to get the gotcha moments in there, right? Let's see. Oh gosh. It's hard to do a text when you're in the middle of it. No time. You chat if you are hanging out. Make your presence known. To me, there's Christina Applegate and Kristen Crook and everyone else. I'm with you, baby. Turk Murphy's Toy Solution says, honestly, it's her actions that make her unattractive. Talking about Kanye's chick. I agree. I also agree Kendall Jenner can get it. Ain't gonna lie. Ain't gonna lie. But yeah, I just, the media, it's fascinating to me. Just absolutely fascinating to me how these reporters and these people that interviewers that ask these questions and the links they'll go to I mean, fucking come on, man, like incestual fucking questions. And I know it's not real, and I know it's make believe, and actors are adult pretenders, but like, come on, man. Wow. All right. So I don't know if y'all saw this article. George Lucas talked about why Yoda talks backwards. All right. I thought this was interesting because when they were making like Star Wars and Empire Strikes Back, it's talking about like how old he was and all that stuff. Says, and yes, George has a penchant for not holding the microphone close to his mouth. When he does interviews, like on a stage or something, he's horrible at it. You would think, I don't know, you'd think he'd know after all these years, but he's also old as shit. It says Mankiewicz finally got him to discuss a key detail in Star Wars lore. Why exactly does Yoda speak backwards? Because if you speak regular English, people won't listen that much. But if he had an accent or it's really hard to understand what he's saying, they focus on what he's saying. He was basically the philosopher of the movie. I had to figure out a way to get people to actually listen, especially 12-year-olds. That's interesting to me. Totally interesting to me. And I never knew that. I actually never had an idea or a reason why Yoda talked the way that he did. But it does seem legit, right? And if you think about it, you go back, you go, you hang on Yoda's words, right? You hang on those words. You also remember those words. That's also a very powerful thing. I mean, how many quotes of Yoda do we have? How many one-liners? How many, and it's because of the restraint, right? The ability to say, what can we do different so this character will have an impact? That's great. I mean, just that little thing alone from George Lucas is probably 157,000 times better than any fucking writer in Hollywood right now. Right? Same work as Dr. Victor Frankl. Yeah. Yeah. I find that interesting. And I'm glad George is still doing interviews. This was for the 35th anniversary, I think, of Empire Strikes Back. Or 45th anniversary screening of The Empire Strikes Back on the opening night of the TCM Classic Film Festival. This article is from April 25th. But yeah, I love he's still doing interviews. It's difficult. George does not look good. George is not doing well now. You can tell he really truly is struggling. And I don't know that George is long for this world, to be quite honest with you. I just don't. It's just the way it seems. How about that female Fantastic Four Silver Surfer? From Bounding into Comics, I love the headline. Let's stop acting like Fantastic Four First Steps female Silver Surfer has any real comic book history. In seeking to either defend their favorite media franchise, keep their own hopes for the film alive, or even just own the chuds, a large swath of MCU fans have recently taken to citing the supposed comic book history of the female Silver Surfer, Shalabal, as proof that Fantastic Four First Steps is finally delivering the source material accuracy many critics have long demanded. I'm with you there, J. Astro. I know I'm not long for this world. Turk, definitely all the icons that we had are falling by the wayside these days. But this article says, here's the thing. Not only is this assertion wildly disingenuous, it's also 100% untrue. What? For the best example of this phenomenon, look no further than the myriad of such comments and retweets made in response to the film's first official trailer, wherein Wolfman star Julia Garner made her debut appearance as the live-action Herald of Galactus. I love this. I absolutely love this. Because at one point in the comic, they had two surfers simultaneously called the Twin Heralds. A lot of comic book casuals don't know that, though. So people are jumping the gun again, crying woke, when it's actually part of the canon. Now that's from Mr. Scion Storm. Reactionary rage bait YouTubers are dusting off their MCU thumbnail templates. Yeah, because we're still in the MCU. MCU. Because they've never read a comic and don't know who Shalabal is. For people who are complaining about the female Silver Surfer, please read this link. She's been around for a while. This isn't some woke shit by Marvel. There you go. Look at that. Look at that thumb. Look at that. Like that post by Tony Stark at I am Clemo. To the morons in the comments, pick up a damn comic book and actually read it. And then right here it says it's not just fans on social media, but those who also write for entertainment media with Collider, Gamergate, CBR, all recently running stories attempting to claim that Shia LaBeouf's time with the Power Cosmic is actually well-established canon. Yet, despite all the confidence with which this argument is regularly made, it is very obvious that those who make it have either never picked up a comic in their life or only learned about the whole of her history, and that the main Silver Surfer, her lover Norrin Rad, from various wiki entries. Gotta love the wiki warriors, right? Gotta love the wiki warriors. They'll be the first ones to Google and then wiki and then tell you about a character that you've been following for 40 years. Gotta love the wiki warriors. However, what they fail to mention, likely as a result of having only learned of her existence as a trivia fact, is that not only is the twin Herald from another universe, but also that the totality of her time in the role amounts to 7 panels and a feature appearance on an Alex Ross cover across 2 issues of a relatively obscure 1997 miniseries, 3 of which consist of her and Norrin appearing as bystanders to larger events, and eventually ends with her death at the hand of a Celestial. 7 panels, 1 cover, and yet everybody that's coming to the defense of the female Silver Surfer trying to tell you that you're a chud, you know, my women, right? My feminisms. Probably Googled that shit and looked that shit up, and they're trying to own you. It's so stupid. It's so stupid. And then it makes you wonder. So then why did Disney choose this route to go with the Silver Surfer? Why did they choose that route? Right? Like, why did they decide to cast and make a female Silver Surfer? Because when she descends down onto Earth and she asks if Fantastic Four are the protectors of this world, it's none other than Sue Storm that stands up to the call, while Reed Richards looks at her lovingly. I'm so proud of you, honey. So proud. You tell her, Queen. Wimano versus Wimano e Wimano. It comes across as disingenuous and it's fucking stupid. Let's not kid ourselves. On a happier note, a very much happier note, original Ghost in the Shell director blasts rise of political correctness in games and anime. You can't even talk about someone being beautiful or not without being accused of discrimination. Are you discriminatory? I love this. I love this, you know, because if you've ever seen Ghost in the Shell, that's a good looking anime. That's all I'm gonna say about that. Um, while good intent, overemphasized. And I get it. Like, I absolutely get it. And I appreciate it. And of course, the Japanese, Koreans, the content they're making, they don't care about the same stupid shit over here in America that this subset of people care about. All this trivial gender bullshit, all this other bullshit. They don't care about that shit. Right? They just write good stories, cool shit that we like to read. That's why manga is so much more popular than American comics, because American comics started to focus on gender and all this other shit and sexual preferences and things like that. And manga just shot up. And now your manga sections are so much bigger than your comic sections here in America. And American comics also only have about 11 pages worth of fucking comic for $5.99 on great paper and 13 variant covers. That shit is awesome. But I digress. Amidst a larger discussion on the future of disinformation, Oshii, creator of Ghost in the Shell, eventually turned to share his thoughts on the fact, as presented by the outlet, that there will be an increase in such things now that Donald Trump, who is a leading proponent of fake news, has become president. It says right here, he goes, let's see. The reason why Trump, who is so poorly regarded, is being treated like a hero by some is not because of his national policies, it's because he overturned political correctness. That's why he's a hero. I agree with that statement. On top of trying to find government waste, 172.6532%. The creator's thoughts turned to this specific topic. The director proceeded to assert political correctness started with the aim of giving legitimacy to socially vulnerable groups. And that's not wrong. The spirit of it. I talk about that all the time. The spirit of things. It's the execution. In a mature society, that's a natural responsibility. However, the problem arose when, starting from that point, they ended up elevating the socially vulnerable to a position of power. They get priority admission to schools, preferential treatment in employment. He continued, before making a surprise reference to the specific operations of narrative consultation companies like Sweet Baby Inc. in video games. He says, what's more, there are companies that charge outrageous consulting fees to guide them through the process. Game companies, for example, are being asked to pay millions of dollars by these companies. Bringing attention back to his more specific experiences, the director explained, because it directly relates to my work, I have a strong aversion to bringing political correctness into the worlds of games and anime. After all, everyone who plays games, wants beautiful or cute characters. I'm no different, so why do we have to include unattractive ones? Fucking mic drop, bitch. Damn. Mic drop. Holy shit. Fucking mic drop. Shit. I'm gonna read that again. After all, everyone who plays games wants beautiful or cute characters, he asserted. I'm no different, so why do we have to include unattractive ones? Amen, my Asian brother. Entertainment is fundamentally built on aspiration. If you deny that sense of aspiration, you strip away the very foundation of what makes entertainment meaningful. These days, you can't even talk about someone being beautiful or not without being accused of discrimination or fatphobic or transphobic or queerphobic or whatever. Western games. That's us, folks, by the way. That's us here, America. They're coming to America. today. Western games have really become terrible, he then declared, all because of political correctness. I can't argue with that, as well as microtransactions, shitty Gen Z writers who have no fucking life experience as well. Those are other factors. Whew, man. Like this dude is just speaking to my heartstrings, man. This dude is tucking right at him, plucking that shit. Closing out his thoughts on the matter, Oshie turned to give his opinion on Disney's failed live action Snow White, telling the outlet, fairy tales are valuable precisely because they can be reinterpreted over and over again. That's the nature of the classics. I've reused Little Red Riding Hood many times myself. Saying that only the original version is valid and rejecting all others, that's a problem in its own way. But when those reinterpretations are used as a platform for political messaging, that's a whole different matter. Booyah. Love it. I'm down with this guy. This motherfucker's talking to me. And he's right. He's absolutely right. 100% correct. People that play games don't want to play as ugly characters. If you say that you want good-looking characters in a game, all of a sudden the angry mob comes after you. How dare you? What about the ugly people? Well, fuck. People don't want to look at ugly people. I'm sorry. That's the truth. Like, get over it. Life ain't easy, and it's a bitch. Get over it. Like, for real. It's like, we can't pretend like this shit doesn't exist. Like, we can't act like this shit. I'm so tired of it. Oh my God. So tired of it. Oh, no, I want to play as the ugliest motherfucker on the planet. Dreadout K6 says, only 4 likes. Come on, people. Hey, look, I get it. No one wants to like this stream because I'm talking about shit that people are scared to talk about. They're afraid to comment about. And I get it. I get it. I do. But like, I'm tired. Like, again, I don't hate people. I don't hate anybody. I don't give a shit what you do. You do what you do. That's fine with me. Truly. But there's just some basic tenets out of life and basic facts, and I don't understand how we can't see those basic facts, biological or otherwise, and that's cool. That's cool. Those are my thoughts. But I can understand why people would be a little, not be thrilled about some of those views or not want to espouse those views, because I get it. Just back in like 2021, people were scared to espouse views about vaccines and things of that nature. But and when our government and our neighbors held us hostage with feeding our families or taking a vaccine that we knew nothing about, most people kowtowed and they took the vaccine because they wanted to keep their job. I think it's a shitty fucking situation to force someone to take some shit they don't want to fucking take or believe in to keep their job and be pressured in that situation. That's the way I look at that situation. But if you did that, you took the vax, if you did that to feed your family, I can't hate on you for doing that. But these are the same things. It's so comparable, right? And it's like, if you're scared to espouse your opinions, these aren't hateful opinions. I would dare say anybody that watches this stream, if anybody goes back and replays this stream and watches this stream, I dare you to sit there and tell me that I am being a hateful, istophobe, denigrating person. If you listen to my words and you go back and watch the stream, I dare you to tell me that I'm someone who is a problem in this country, that I don't want people to be happy, that I hate certain people. I don't think you'll find that at all. I think that the opinions I have are very reasonable. I think they're based on my beliefs, but they're also based as well on the majority of people's beliefs. and my life experiences. See, that's the other part. We do this all the time. We will have all this life experience that we see with our own eyes, that we experience with our own selves. And then we'll try to act like it's not real. We'll try to pretend like what we've seen for 50 years isn't real. Well, it's got to be something, it's something else. But what I've seen with my own eyes and the people I've talked to, the thousands of people I've had conversations with in my lifetime, the countless people I entertained dancing on a dance floor while I was playing drums or singing, bartending, whatever. All those people. My life experiences make up my belief system. And I don't think my belief system is crazy. That's all I'm saying. I don't think it's crazy. And Dreadnought K6 says 100% with you, Pop. Lots of scared people. People, you know, and look, I don't, you know, cowardly in my, I think at this point now, if someone is afraid to espouse their opinions, and I don't mean in a hateful way, we don't just look. All of you guys listen to me. Okay. Agree with me here. We don't just go out into public and just start telling our opinions. Am I right? Like, we don't go out around people and just start going, I hate this motherfucker. That shit, I don't like that shit. Oh, man, I love that, man. That's great. You might comment on somebody's shoes. You might be like, man, I love that jacket. Somebody might make a joke while you're standing in line at Walmart. You're like, oh, shit, that's just funny, dude. You're right, man. But we don't go out there just telling our opinions to people, you know, face to face out in public like that. Now, I'll do it on here, but that's what everybody does on YouTube. Am I wrong about that? But like, I don't go out in public and just start telling people shit. Because we're fucking people. And we talk to other people like fucking people. Like, it drives me crazy. Read these articles. Oh, these angry, these racists out. Well, where the fuck are they? Because I sure as hell don't run into them in my everyday life. I don't come across them every day. Where's all these transphobes that I see? Oh, all these people causing all these issues. Oh, they're just beating people. I don't know, because I don't fucking talk to them. And I talk to people about a lot of shit. I don't talk to them. I don't see them. I ain't saying they're not out there. But let's not try to pretend like that is most people. That is a small section of people who make a bad fucking name for a lot of fucking people. But most everybody I know and most everybody I come across are regular, down the middle people. And they can be gay, straight, trans. I don't give a fuck. Most people want to work their job, make their money, buy their toys, feed their family or themselves, and be left the fuck alone. And most people get to achieve that goal. So if the only people I see out there rocking the fucking boat, talking shit to people, yelling at people, cornering people, taking videos of people, accusing people and shit, is a subset of people like that have to be seen. You got to see me. You got to believe what I believe. How dare you not believe what I believe? And I'm going to put in your face. I'm going to dance on your children's lap. Take your kids to a lap dance contest. You see what I'm saying? Come on, man. Like, let's not play games here. And the thing is in person, I think we're all kind to everybody, right? Like, I think we're all kind. Turk says, I think you're always relatively neutral position on things. Yeah, like I have my thoughts, but I always at least like to see two sides of the issue. And I've had many conversations with people about other sides of an issue, issues like this. But I also have my beliefs, you know, and again, I think the main thing is that I just try to look at both sides of the coin, get informed decisions, and make up my own mind. And, you know, I don't think anybody should be afraid of doing that. I really don't. I know there's a lot of people probably like lurking on this that don't want to comment. I appreciate those of you who are commenting. I have not seen Rowdy comment in a long time. I assume Rowdy probably bailed out of this stream. I understand. Again, I said it earlier. Don't mean any harm. If the breaking point for someone is that we disagree on J.K. Rowling, then I think that's a fucking sad breaking point. I think it's a sad world that the breaking point is whether or not J.K. Rowling is such a big deal. Right? Like, I think life is much greater than that. But if that's the breaking point, that's the breaking point. And I get it. Again, like I said, I don't hate nobody. And, chances are tomorrow, if I ran into somebody who didn't like what I had to say, I would probably tell you that, number one, they probably wouldn't say it to my face because people don't normally do that. And number two, I probably would say, hey, what's up? Oh, shit, what's going on? At Joe Fest, any fest. At my job, anywhere. Yeah, it's, I hope that that's not the breaking point. I don't like that. But this is I say Friday night, a Sunday night, Unfiltered. And these are my thoughts. It's what I want to talk about. It varies from week to week, y'all. That's for sure. But I really do appreciate y'all that have hung in here and listened to me rant and ramble and carry on. I hate that once again my stream kind of hiccuped and music kicked out. Kind of pisses me off because I really do. I kind of am bumming that I don't have my little jams going. And I guess really this is apropos from earlier tonight.
I've got a bad feeling about this.
Padme in that white outfit. Girl, you something else. You just something else. But anyway, so look, I'm gonna get out of here. Been 2.5 hours. I will be doing an Oblivion stream coming up. I'm waiting on some patches for the game and a couple mods because there are some serious issues with the game right now, graphics wise and performance wise. So I was wanting to do an Oblivion playthrough. So anybody that wants to watch me game, I was going to start doing a little bit of that. I'll let y'all know. I'll put it up there, or Instagram or whatever, if you are interested. If you're not, it's all good too. I totally understand. But RPGs are my type of game. Fallout, shit like that. So anyway, I'll be doing that soon. 7th WoW with 3-star draw Wednesday night at 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. I'll be doing that. And don't forget May, Power of the Force. You guys go and please review a figure. Pick a figure. Tell Punk. Take a prequel figure and just review it. Don't spend a lot of money. Just review it. And have a good time doing it. Got the whole month of May, man. And so yeah, for real. But I really do appreciate y'all hanging out and listening to me ramble on. And usually I will always end my streams with this one of my favorite little sayings. Thanks, y'all. I will see y'all soon.
So long, gay boys.